Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Collecting Vintage Unopened podcast. My name is Brandon Stewart. This is a podcast devoted to discussing anything and everything in regards to the collecting of vintage unopened sports cards and non-sports cards. And tonight I have a special guest, fellow unopened collector that I've gotten to know a little bit through the Facebook group. Stephen Smoley is here. Thanks for being here, Stephen.
Oh, no problem, Brandon.
So I thought we could start by you just discussing a little bit of your background in the hobby and how you got into collecting unopened material.
Okay, well, it was 1988, and I started collecting my top set for that year, which I do every year. And I needed probably about 50 to 100 cards, so I bought a cello box. And on the 20th pack, I got my last card that I needed, and I had 4 packs left. And I said to myself, why bother opening these, because I've got all the cards in there. And I just kept them. And then a few years later, I started buying packs sporadically, and then took a little hiatus. And then 1999, joined eBay, and that's when the floodgates opened.
Yeah, eBay is it's very addictive. It's such a fun thing, but especially with the constant supply of packs on there, it's a little dangerous, I think, for the budget sometimes. What's funny is that one of our friends from the Facebook group, Mike C., who's been on the podcast, he actually started collecting unopened in kind of a similar way. He had some packs left. Yeah. That's kind of a funny overlap between how it started. What sorts of unopened material do you focus on in your collection?
Well, my favorite kind of pack is a tray pack, but right now I basically have all the trays that I could find and or afford, because some of them are just impossible to come by. And there's one that I have never even seen a picture of, the 71 tops, but I know it exists because in the Mark Murphy catalog. So I guess for all practical purposes, I'd have to say rack packs.
Sure. And for those of you who may be unfamiliar with what Stephen is talking about with trays, a tray is essentially 3 wax packs that are in this little cardboard tray, and it was a alternative way for tops to sell wax packs, and they were sold at a discount, right? Typically because they were excess packs.
Yeah, a few cents less.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, there's some that are really, really tough to find. As hard as it is to find some of the mid-70s rack packs, trays are even harder, it seems like. I know I've seen on Facebook, you have a 1977 tray that had me salivating. That's such a cool, tray.
77 guy.
Yeah, I love 77. So what other types of items? So you have trays. I know you focus on some players as well in your collection. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, just recently I completed a run of Reggie Jackson on top of either a cello or rack pack from 75 through 85. But I really don't, that was kind of like a one and off thing for me. I really don't collect Reggie, but I can say the only player I do collect is Dwight Gooden.
Okay. And
I've got about 25 packs of his. Yeah.
Okay. And what drew you to Gooden? Are you a Mets fan, or why Dog Gooden?
Yeah, I'm a Mets fan. I've been a lifelong Mets fan. And and he was my favorite player. I was in high school when he came up, and he was amazing.
Yeah, he set the world on fire there, especially 84, 85. I mean, he was something else. I mean, absolutely brilliant. Well, that's cool. So what made you decide to complete a Reggie run then, if you're not really a Reggie guy? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. These things just kind of happen organically. I just realized that I had like maybe 3 or 4 packs of him on top, and you get another one. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I can maybe do this. I can maybe start a run. And it was hard. 77, I'm talking about 77 again. That was the hardest. That was my last one. I got that recently.
And that's a cello pack with Reggie on top?
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, it's I personally, I don't know if you would agree with me. I've always felt that Reggie was a little bit overrated. I don't know why. Like, I think the run is fantastic, but I've never been a Reggie for a similar reason. I've never really been drawn to his stuff. But your run is impressive. It is so, you've got some really nice packs. If anybody is listening to this or watching and you're in the Facebook group and you haven't seen his post about his Reggie run, it's pretty wild. It is funny though how sometimes we just kind of fall into a player, collecting a player, which is kind of what it sounds like with Reggie. It wasn't intentional. You didn't get one and say, okay, I want 50
Right.
more of this guy.
Mhm.
Yeah. So do you have some items that you want to show us tonight, or some of your favorite items in your collection?
Yeah, I do. Well, since we're talking about him already,
Sure.
uh,
Sure.
Jackson, this is my favorite pack that I have in my collection.
Oh, wow. That is
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah, I got this on eBay,
Wow.
$57.01. That's what I paid for it. See, with all my packs and my cards, actually, if I buy them, I just little stickers that I put on the holders.
Hmm.
When I bought them, how much I bought them for,
Sure.
and where I bought
Can you show that again, just for my YouTube viewers, just to get a better look? This is for those of you listening on the podcast. This is a 1976 cello pack with Reggie Jackson on top. Wow, that is beautiful, and that's a tough cello pack to get a hold of, and that's in a near mint 7 PSA. Wow.
them.
How long have you had it?
Yeah. I've had this about 20 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's one of the first ones I got.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And you don't see him in Oakland in an unopened pack because they're just so rare, like 76 and back. Do you have any others that you wanna show?
Yeah, I've got a few more. Well, this is kind of like an oddball one.
Sure, sure.
My oldest pack of any kind. It's a
Okay.
baseball tattoo pack, yeah,
Oh,
1960.
oh, that is beautiful. And
Yeah.
that's Peachy, right?
Um, I don't think so. I'm
Oh,
not really
okay.
sure. It's
Oh,
kind
okay.
of
Yeah,
this. I got
baseball. Oh, sorry. I was going to say Baseball Card Exchange has a few of those on their website, and I thought they were Peachy, but I could be wrong. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. This is where I got it from, BBC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a few years ago.
Can you tell who the player is, or?
No, I can't. Steve can. I know he's got some years.
Yeah. There's some. Yeah, he can. I've seen him on there. Richie Ashburn showing, or whoever. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's a different. Tattoos are kind of a different thing. Unopened. I mean, there's a few years, I guess, that have that, but it's kind of like the Fleer sticker, or the Fleer iron-on patches.
Oh yeah,
Those are kind of cool.
I have one of those too.
Oh yeah, yeah. 1970s, 72, something like that. I don't.
Yeah, about 70, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's really cool. Well, so what other items do you look for? I know you've talked about Doc Gooden, you've talked about Reggie, you've talked about trays. Do you have other projects? Or do you try to focus on specific years? Like, how do you structure your collecting, I guess?
Well, I collect like most guys on the group. I collect 70s and early to mid 80s.
Sure.
Sometimes a little after that. It's
Hmm.
before they started not making the top player visible. Like I think it was 89 for tops. And yeah, that's 70s. That's my favorite decade.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
think it's do you have a favorite year that if you had the budget, do you have a year in the 70s that you would target?
For years, 77. It's like you. It's
Oh, okay, sure. Okay.
75 is really catching up fast. I'm really gaining like more appreciation for that set as time goes on. And yeah, those are my two favorites.
Yeah, I think 75, I don't know if it was necessarily one of my favorites, but I feel similar to you. It's kind of grown on me in the past.
Yeah.
Another one that is really grown, but you just don't see very many, is 72 tops.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
I think some of the members in the group, when they show their 72 racks, it's like, oh my gosh, this is some of the coolest stuff I've ever.
Oh, yeah. So I know I've got a 72 cello pack. If it's good or not, I don't know, but I have one. I'm so scared to send it in to BB or PSA, along with my 70 pack, which I'm also scared. So I don't know if I'm ever going to do that.
So you have a 70 top cello as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. Well, do you want to show us a few other items? And
Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is the 80 rack pack with
okay, okay.
Harley's, yeah,
Oh, perfect.
Harley's and Eddie Murray. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. So it's a 1980 Topps rack with 2 Hall of Famers on top, Eddie Murray and Yaz. Yeah, that's beautiful. I don't ever actually think I've seen that Eddie Murray card before. That's really nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a nice shape too. The header looks in pretty good shape too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's unpunched.
No, that's great. For those of you listening, I'm sure this is the part of the show that everybody, if you just listen, it drives you crazy. But I'm trying to describe it. 1980 Topps, Murray, Yaz, beautiful dual Hall of Famer 1980 Topps rack. Yeah, that's really nice.
Got a couple more.
Cool.
It's another oddball pack. Had to put Dwight Gooden in there.
Oh, sure.
This is a 91 studio preview pack.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this I just saw it on eBay one day. Didn't go looking for it. It just kind of found me, and I like oddball stuff too.
Sure. So what is it? What is studio preview? What does that mean? I'm actually ignorant of this product.
Well, it looks like there were 17 cards. I don't know if they gave them to merchants or whatever, but
oh, okay.
One pack, maybe 8 or so cards, roughly.
Interesting.
And yeah, so that's good. And my last one is my biggie, my
oh wow,
73 hockey tray pack.
1973 Topps hockey. Now, this is an example. Those of you watching, you've never seen a tray on my channel. If you watch my YouTube channel, you've never seen a tray because I've never owned a tray. So this is something new for if you're watching this. This is 1973 Topps. Wow, that is absolutely gorgeous. How long have you had that, and how'd you get it?
I think I've had this about 5 years.
Okay.
eBay. This pack came up, and I was in total awe when I saw this. I'd never seen it before. I didn't know it existed. So of course that made me want it even more, and I had to get it.
Wow. Yeah, that is absolutely gorgeous. Do you mind if I ask what you paid at the time?
Yeah, that number is permanently engraved in my mind. It will be for the rest of my life. Well, with shipping was $25. I remember that. It was $16.25.
Which is now a bargain.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those trays. Well, all packs, cards, kind of crazy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think it's that old expression, today's overpaying is tomorrow's discount. I think that's the I mean, even 2 years ago, 1982 Topps rack packs were $15. And now, now they're 30 to 40 just with no Hall of Famer showing. And that's just one example of the explosion in popularity. So do you have any other current projects you're working on? Because it sounds like your Reggie run is coming to an end. It sounds like you have a pretty substantial Doc Gooden run. Are there any other players that you're focusing on in the future or anything like that?
Well, I'm thinking Rod Carew because again, organically, I have 78 through 81. I didn't even mean to do it. It kind of happens. So I'm thinking like maybe 78 to 86 was his last year, if that's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely doable. And there's the great thing about Carew is there's so many. I think it's good when you find a player that has a lot of cards in a set, right? Because there's different. If you collect Nolan Ryan, okay, there's a ton of Nolan Ryan, non-base cards in the 70s that can appear on tops of rack packs and in the 80s. And at Carew's, if there's a hitting leaders card in the 70s, chances are it's going to have Carew on it. So that's kind of
yeah. About another kind of pack or card that I like to collect on top of packs is the All-Star emblems. And they came out from 75 through 81. And I think Carew may be the only one that has an All-Star emblem on all of those years.
Wow, that's
Thought
really
of, yeah, check that once. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, in '81 they stopped, and then in '82 they made it more like the starboard or all star, like they
The
changed
All-Star
the design.
Correct, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's really no. Well, Caru's a great one to collect, and he seems very popular in the unopened side of the hobby.
Yeah, I know there is a Carew collector. I think one for sure. I know.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, it seems like I've always, this is a new question that I'm going to start asking all of the people that I talk to. In your view, based at least on our experience on Facebook and on eBay, who do you think is the hottest player in unopened right now? If you had to pick one or two.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a tough question.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm lost here.
Well, let me tell you mine, and you can see if you
All
think I'm
right.
completely crazy. And then maybe
Yeah.
that'll. To me, it seems like Ricky Henderson
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and Nolan Ryan seem to be two of the hottest.
Yeah, I know Nolan Ryan is the hottest to alter the packs. That I found out from firsthand experience. But yeah, so yeah, no, I agree with you. I couldn't think of those two players, but yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, because I've because there's people that do collect certain players, but some players just don't get as much hobby love. It seems like
Oh, I
Rich
know.
Rich Gossage, Raleigh Fingers,
Burt Blyleven.
Burt Blyleven. Yeah, they're pretty much common racks with them showing, which to me is kind of interesting. But it means there's bargains to find, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I really appreciate you showing some of your collection and chatting with me about your history in the hobby and your love of unopened.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. It was fun.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, that'll do it, everybody. Take care. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll talk to you all soon.